Two schoolgirls are filmed inside a changing room in Japan, engaged in casual conversation. As one of the girls adjusts her clothing, a dark mass begins to form along the right edge of the frame. It does not move like a normal shadow. Instead, it slowly resolves into a vague, human-shaped silhouette, partially obscured, yet distinctly present. The figure resembles shadow people, dark, humanoid forms described as featureless silhouettes, lacking facial detail or clothing. They appear as voids shaped like a person rather than a body reflecting light. Witnesses often report a sudden sense of being watched, overwhelming unease, and the impression that the figure disappears the moment direct attention is given to it. Their motives, if any, remain unknown. If the figure captured here was not an artifact of lighting or camera error, its presence raises troubling possibilities. It may have been an unseen observer, lingering just beyond perception. Whether acting as a voyeur or something far less human, the intent behind its appearance remains deeply unsettling. On the night of August 19, 2021, two paranormal investigators traveled to a cemetery in Thailand to conduct what they described as a ghost challenge, intending to determine whether spirits truly inhabited the site. The location was already steeped in disturbing local lore. Visitors had long reported seeing figures seated atop graves, quietly crying. One witness claimed to have approached a sobbing figure, believing the person to be lost, only for the figure to vanish without a trace. The cemetery itself contains the remains of the unclaimed dead. Approximately 400 graves hold around 200 bodies, individuals never retrieved by family members. Aware of the site's spiritual significance, one of the investigators began by lighting incense and praying. He explained that this was done to request permission from the entity believed to preside over the cemetery, and to avoid provoking any spirits. He was familiar with such rituals, having learned them from a Cambodian monk. After the prayer, incense sticks were placed at the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, surrounding the cemetery. As they continued walking, the second investigator commented on a sudden, overpowering stench in the air. Moments later, an unfamiliar sound was heard, seemingly coming from within one of the coffins.
ที่ว่าเขาจะแยกชายหญิงนะอย่างที่บอกบางชุดถ้าเกิดว่าผู้หญิงเต็มแล้วฟังเก่ามันเต็มเขาก็จะเอาของผู้หญิงมาใส่แบบฟังใหม่ด้วยเพื่อแยกก็อย่างที่บอกแหละอะไรวะฝาแตกเนี่ยอันนี้ไม่น่ามียังไม่ได้บอกปูนนี่เขากำกับเลขไปด้วยเนาะเห็นว่า
The coffin appeared unsealed and empty, however. Later, as an offering, a banana leaf was placed on the ground and food was arranged on top of it, an act traditionally used in worship to honor spirits or deities. Incense was lit once again, and another prayer followed. Eventually, they reached two open coffins without lids. The coffin on the right showed signs of a body or remains having been burned there. The grass was scorched, and the soil beneath had turned black. The investigator then lay down inside the adjacent coffin. A funeral washing ritual was performed, during which coconut water was poured over his face. He then placed 3 lit incense sticks in his mouth, deliberately provoking any spirit present to approach him. Visibly distressed, he lay in the coffin for nearly 90 minutes. Nothing occurred. Then, without warning, this happened. His shirt was suddenly yanked. Panicked, he scrambled out of the coffin and ran back toward his companion. As he attempted to explain what had just happened, the situation escalated further.
ตั้งสติก่อนโยใจเย็นๆเมื่อกี้เจออะไรเมื่อกี้ทีโอกำลังแบบได้ยินเสียงใช่ไหมได้ยินเสียงเหมือนคนทางบ้านมาขอผมแล้วทำเสียงทักอย่างโอกำลังแบบเฮ้ย
The investigator was violently pulled backward and slammed to the ground. Upon closer inspection, his shirt can be seen being forcefully pulled by something unseen. The other investigator rushed toward him as the footage abruptly fades to black. There is an old saying, "It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt." What began as a challenge appears to have been answered. Whether by angering the spirits of the unclaimed dead or provoking something that should not have been disturbed, the investigators encountered far more than they intended. Late one night, a man, believed to be a school guard or the brother of one, patrols a quiet campus in the Philippines when suddenly he hears unfamiliar sounds.
Yun guys. So yun guys, narinig mo yun? Check natin guys kung naka-on yung yan.
Drawn toward a nearby classroom, he hears the unmistakable scrape of furniture shifting across the floor.
Yan, walang tao dyan guys. Yun guys, so yung kita niyo yung mga bangko. Yan guys. Yan, walang tao dyan guys ha. Tapos yung electric fan sa itaas. Yan o. Parang may kakaiba talaga dito guys. Yan, kita niyo. Yan guys o. Yan guys. Kita niyo. Yan guys o. Kita niyo.
Seconds later, chairs inside the room begin to move on their own. He steps inside to investigate.
Grabe, nakakatakot dito guys, sobra. So check natin, pasukin natin guys para kita nyo yung same guys. So guys, Lord. Guys.
Almost immediately, the chairs surge forward, sliding and colliding as if driven by intent, swarming toward the doorway and forcing him back outside. Shaken, he retreats, steadying himself before cautiously peering into the classroom once more.
So yan, kita nyo naman guys yung guys oh. Yan. Yan. So yan guys. Yan.
Inside, a single chair rocks gently back and forth, a reminder that he's not alone.
Ano? Kasi naka-on yan. Yan. Naka-on yan. So try natin i-off natin yan. Grabe. Ano? Okay. Yan guys oh. Kita nyo. Yan ang ano. Dito ka natin na off.
Summoning his nerve, the man enters the room again and flips on the lights. After a brief moment, he switches them off and flees the classroom entirely.
Labas na po guys kasi hindi ko kaya yung takot dito. So, yan lang guys.
Stories like this are disturbingly common in schools across the Philippines. There are accounts of perpetually locked classrooms, lights activating on their own, chairs scraping across empty floors, and chalkboards bearing faint writing in the early morning, lessons no one remembers writing. Some believe these disturbances are signs that someone is still attending class, lingering in the halls and classrooms long after graduation became impossible. For more episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications.